Welcome to the Nerd Lag Game Club. This month we played Bastion, and when we all had to pick our moral decision, we all chose differently. And this is what led into that conversation. What was everyone's first moral decision?
I saved him.
I also saved him.
I also
not.
saved him.
I did not save him.
I also did not save him. Nerd Lag Game Club. Welcome to the Nerd Lag Game Club, the podcast that gives us a chance to step back and play a game with our friends. My name is Corey, and I'm joined with 4 party members today. Lauren.
Hey.
Tunza.
Hola.
Dan Boy.
Hello.
And Tony.
What's going on, guys?
This month we played the 2011 action RPG Bastion. Bastion was developed by SuperGiant Games and published by Warner Brothers. An interesting fact about Bastion is that when it was first shown off at the 2010 Penny Arcade Expo, there was only 20 minutes of the game made, and it released a full year later. We just missed the 10-year anniversary of Bastion by 1 month. So if we would have chose this a month earlier, we would have hit the 10-year on the nose.
Well, we played it.
We did play
during the 1 year. So.
Yeah, we played it for the 1 year. Or the 10-year.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Since this was Tons' game, we're going to let him talk about what Bastion is.
It's an action RPG, but you play as Kid, and the world had a catastrophe where everything shattered into pieces, and you're just trying to figure out the secrets of the calamity. That's basically it, and it's narrated. The whole story is told by narration.
Well, nothing else to add on to that? You good?
No, because
All right.
I don't want to spoil nothing.
All right. With that being said, who wants to grab the first shard and tell us about the story of this game?
Oh, so like Tunza said, you're a kid, which until Tunza said that, I didn't realize that was his actual name. I don't remember anyone saying any other name besides Kid, so I guess it makes sense. But yeah. You start off just waking up. Then you run through this world that's just building around you as it just builds a path for you. And then you find some weapons. Everyone's just kind of stone, I think. I think they were stone. They seemed like stone, but then you'd break them and then they just turn to ashes.
It kind of reminds me of
stone.
Yeah, it reminds me of if a volcano hit them.
Yeah.
Like in that Pompeii movie or whatever.
Yeah, where they're all stone statues, but it's because of the volcano.
Yeah.
Sure, I don't know a movie. Anyways, and then just creatures, things just start appearing around you, and you gotta fight them. And all you do is just basically try to get to the Bastion, which is, I guess, I don't know the word I'm looking for. Oh gosh, I hate words.
It's the hub of the game.
Yeah, it's the hub of the game. It's kind of where you build the base at. It's your home base for the game, where you meet Rux, I think was his name.
Yep, Old
Yeah,
Man
the
Rux.
Old Man Rux, and he is actually the narrator of the game as well. He kind of tells you about everything that goes on in the world as you play through it. It's kind of cool.
I'm gonna go with my description of the story. We'll see if we hit it a little better.
Okay.
Story is about a boy that he refers to as the Kid, that wakes up on a floating island and works his way back to his home, which is Bastion, which is that hub. He meets another person, which is Rux, that has been narrating his decisions and kind of filling in the story around you. Then the Kid travels to other floating islands to collect shards to rebuild the Bastion to its former glory. The island appears in front of the character as you move towards it. So, as Dan said, the world kind of builds as you move. And then this last section kind of gives away the end, so I'm not going to say it now.
Let me just say that at the beginning, they're monuments. The shards are after the stuff happens, and then you
Yeah.
collect shards to.
Oh, okay.
So they're monuments first. They look kind of like almost like statues or trophies.
I would say this game's hard to describe like that because, like, there's a lot of story to it, but if you go on past that, you've already told the whole story.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
pretty
for
much.
Sure.
That's why I like stopped where I was, because it was like it would just give away everything if I continued.
For sure.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really like explain like too much because I don't know what would be like too much to say at the very beginning.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess before we get any further, this will be very spoiler heavy. So if you have not played Bastion, probably recommend doing that before listening. Relatively short game though, so you can knock that
Yeah.
out and then come back. So
We'll be here.
how about we'll pick on Tony a little bit.
Sounds
Explain
about right.
the gameplay of this game. How does it pan out when you're in the actual islands?
So when you're in the actual islands, like every time you move, like the floor actually just pops. It like comes down from the ceiling. It's just like appearing as you're moving, which is pretty cool. Then you get these enemies that pop up, just random stuff. You can literally like destroy everything pretty much, which I thought was pretty sweet. The narration is like within the first like 5 minutes of the game, I was just to get like used to like the button layout because I just bought the Switch, so I was just trying to like understand like where my buttons are and stuff like that, and I was just hitting everything and stuff, and the narration's like, and the kid was just smashing everything in his sight, and I just started cracking up. I was like, this is awesome.
They did that when I was starting out too, and I was like, "This is dope."
Yeah.
I was smashing everything.
Everything. So you get to pick. So you pretty much switch between like melee and long range throughout the game, and I use pretty much like the giant hammer and the repeater arrow crossbow or whatever. That's what they called it, right? The repeater or something like that.
The
Like
bow and
the
arrow.
Bone? Like the fang?
No. It was like it had multiple arrows in it. It was called the repeater or something like that.
Yeah, that was the repeater.
Yeah, that's what I used. I pretty much just like
The first two weapons.
yeah, pretty much just stuck with the
Yeah.
first two weapons and just upgraded them, and I would just dodge roll and just shoot with the repeater, and then if I was low health, I just meleeed. But so like the environment is real, like it just like pops out of nowhere. It's like it's real cool like how they did it. I really enjoyed it. Pretty much, and these black little, I called them like raindrops. That's what they look like, black little raindrops with eyeballs trying to kill you. Giant like what are those things in Mario Brothers? The giant dogs. They had like stuff that looked like that, and every time you hit them, they shrunk down because they were weaker.
Oh, scumbags.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that stuff was real sweet.
And you get like the weird like Grim Reaper ghoul ghost looking guys. I don't know what those were
Yeah.
called.
I think it's called like Gas Fella or whatever, however they say it.
I think so, yeah.
And the little ones were like squirts.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
squirt that you
Yeah,
comes
like right
back
in
to the
beginning.
Bastion with you.
Yeah.
You also get a shield. I don't know if Tony mentioned that, but you
No, I didn't mention the shield. Yeah,
you get a
yeah,
shield which allows you to like counter, which I use that quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't use it at all.
Yeah, I barely used it.
My question is, so what was everybody's weapon choice then for the
Well, I told you mine.
game?
Like,
Right.
yeah.
We'll go
So,
around and everyone can say what weapons they use the most.
So for me it was kinda I used the oh gosh, I don't remember the name of it. Like the little sword. Like the machete, I think is
Machete.
what it
War machete.
was,
The
maybe?
war
Yeah.
machete, that's what I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Hell.
my range weapon was primarily the Fang repeater like Tony used.
Okay.
But whenever I got to the end of the game and I got the mortar gun, that's what I used.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's cool to mention that like this game makes you, or it lays out the weapons so you're gathering them as you progress the game, but does not force you to use any certain one or
Yeah.
combination. You could switch it right after you unlock it and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I used the war machete a lot in the beginning, like for the most part, and then once I got the pike, I started using that a lot, like the spear.
Oh, see, I didn't
Okay.
like the spear.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
then,
like it.
Um, and then I was using the musket for a while there. And then I
Okay.
used like the or a carbine, but like at the end of the game, I was just like I was mainly just using the spear.
Okay.
And
about
then the trip mines.
Oh, the
Trip
trip
mines
mines
were
are
my
great.
they were my favorite like special ability.
I don't think I used the trip mines at all. No, wait, I did. I used them once.
What
I
about
usually just use the little like squirt lure just to
Yeah.
keep spawning them in.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, same.
I use the mortars a little, or not the mortars, the trip mines a little bit as a special skill, and I also use the war machine skill that makes you slash like a bunch of times in a row, like really
Hmm.
fast.
Okay.
And I also messed around with the perfect shield or mirror shield, I think it was called, which
Yeah.
allows you to
Yeah.
perfect counter everything.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Oh,
didn't know that was a
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
What about you, Lauren? What did you use throughout the game?
I mainly use the war machete, which I really, really liked the machete. As soon as I got it, I switched to it as often as I could, like immediately. Because
Yeah,
I
same.
love hack and slash freaking swords. Amazing. So I love that. I would just run in like slice, slice, slice. And then I used the dual pistols. As soon as I got him, that was my favorite weapon besides the machete. I was just going around like blah 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 blah, and then I would switch like slice
Button
them up a whole
mashing.
bunch of times. Yeah,
Yeah.
well yeah. And then I used the little guys that you spawn too. I would like if I was in a tough area, I'd spawn them while I was trying to look for health and stuff like that.
I primarily use the war machete as well. I didn't really change from that once I unlocked it. I used the musket through almost the entire after you get it, like everything afterwards. I basically just used the musket for. I did enjoy using the mortar though when
Yeah,
you
mortar
get
was
it.
Oh, the mortar I felt like was so good.
It
It
was.
it helped you clear areas like real fast.
That thing was
Yeah.
perfect for those little like flower things or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was perfect to destroy him. It was one hit, like, destroy him.
Yep.
I liked using it for those I think those are like some kind of dinosaur dog like thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The ones that would like charge you.
Yeah.
Those were the
Dinosaur
best because you had to hit
dogs?
them. Yeah, you had to hit them like in the back.
Lunkhead.
Oh,
I
like the frog
hated
things,
those.
They're
right?
like
They jumped
frog
on you.
dog things. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay.
hated them.
but you can only hit them from the back. So when you
Yep.
shot the mortar, you could shoot it behind them,
Hmm.
and it would take like a lot of their health out.
I'm pretty sure if you just shot it like right on them, it would still just do health to them. Because I don't think I was hitting behind them. I'm pretty sure I was just hitting right on them. It
Yeah.
was killing them.
I think you just had to hit anything with that thing. It was dead.
Yeah, yeah.
So while we're on the topic, we'll do this. What was your favorite overall weapon? So, was it what you used? Like, and if it was, like, was it the melee or the caught like ranged weapons?
Say war machete because you could put like a dot on people, like a damage over time.
Yeah,
I used
yeah.
that like
Yeah.
the whole gameplay.
Yeah, because you just
Right.
throw it and you could take out like enemies. But when I started using the pike, you could just take up critical hits. So you're just doing like 100. You're doing like one
Like
stab was like
130
killing.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my favorite weapon was the war machete. Like overall,
Yeah, same.
Mine was at the end of the game, that giant ram thing that you were just carrying
The
around.
battering ram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cheap.
Dude,
Oh,
I,
so
I
it was
hated
so
that thing
slow.
only because of
Because
how
you
slow
walk
you
so
walk.
slow, but
Yeah.
like it just destroyed everything. Like it was one hit, so I enjoyed it. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going through this in like
And you
10
can
minutes.
rain
Yeah.
like mortars,
Yeah.
Yeah.
meteor shower.
So about you, Lauren, was the war machete or the dual pistols? Which one did you like better?
I don't know. That was a tough choice because I really like the machete, but like I really like those dual pistols too. They were really cool. And they made my life when it came to like ranged attacks so much easier once I got them. I don't know. I'd probably say the machete though.
What about the flip side of this? Did you guys have a least favorite weapon?
The bow.
Oh, that's actually surprising.
It was
Yeah.
only because I have a hard time sitting there and waiting to like power up. I want to like rush in and just slice and, like quickly fight enemies. I don't want to take my time.
I agree.
I wouldn't say
I
worst.
would say
I
the
would say
bow was probably my least favorite
I
because
had
you had to charge it. I don't want to wait. It's like a fast-paced game, you know?
Yeah.
the calamity cannon at the end.
Thank you.
Just because you would go to fight shit and it would just blow up on you.
Yep.
That
My
was my
thing
only
with
thing.
that cannon was it
Aiming
wouldn't
was weird,
like
too.
lock on. Yeah, the aiming was really like I don't want to say bad, but it was bad. Like you kind
Awkward.
of like had to lead your shots with it, like if they were moving.
It was pretty awkward to shoot.
Yeah.
I think my least favorite weapon was the stupid flame bellows.
See, I kind of enjoyed using
As-
that.
I liked it too.
So I picked it
Yeah.
up, and as
was
soon
too
as I
short.
got to an arsenal, I switched it. I was like, I hate this thing.
I did the same because it just you would hold it for like 2 seconds and then you're like reloading, and I'm like, oh god.
And it took me
Nope.
less time to take out all those like the dried out brush with the
Mhm.
musket than it would to let it charge up that stupid bellows and burn them that way. I was like, this is dumb. I hate this.
It was really cool that like they would give you these new items to introduce it. Like it's like you should use it really like here, but you didn't have to. You could just switch out right then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there'd usually be like the arsenal like right
Yeah.
there to
Mhm.
swap weapons.
So we
Yeah,
got
I'd say the first thing when I got the what was it, the spear thing? Like I
Mhm.
used it for a little bit, but like I didn't like it. I switched that out right away.
I didn't like it till I upgraded it.
It
Okay.
made that boss fight way fucking easier though. Let me just say.
that
See, my
weird
my
nerf.
thing was every time I would get a new weapon, I would use it for that whole level,
Me too.
like
And
just
then
so
I'd
I could
switch
get
out.
used to it.
Yep.
I didn't like the fire. It was slow.
I couldn't stand it. I was like, where is the arsenal? I want to get rid of this thing.
You just had to reload. Like you would try to clear a bush, and it's like, oh, I'm already reloading. I could have just beat the shit out of this thing. And it switched it for my main that time. So I had that, then like the musket, and I'm like, this is a weird
Yeah.
combination.
Yeah, it seemed weird that was considered a melee weapon.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
We got really off topic.
Yeah.
But that's all right. The first level when you go to like explore, you're in kind of like an old rundown like city, like almost like a castle. The
Yeah.
early stages, as
Yeah.
basically how the game works is you go to an island, you clear said island, it blocks you off from that island, and then you unlock the next island, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as you unlock each weapon, you get those like side quests,
Yeah, the proving grounds.
the proving grounds, where if you can accomplish the goal in X amount of time or whatever the case is, you get like different items and upgrades and different things like that. I I stopped messing with those after I unlocked the musket. I was like, I don't want to do these.
Did you do the musket one?
I did do the musket one, but after that, I was
It
like,
was
eh.
it was probably one of the easier ones. Once you realize, oh, I just have to walk kind of close to these things and shoot them all together. Because it's like 14 shots. You have to get them all.
Yeah, the bow one I
Yeah.
tried, super hard.
Yeah, I did the bow one like 20 times, and then I finally beat it, and I was like, cool, I never have to do this ever again.
That's how I felt.
But yeah, I didn't really do too many of those. I was just like, yeah, I'm over this.
Yeah, I didn't do too many of them either.
I did all of them, but I didn't get first prize in all of them.
Overachiever.
I know. Go me.
I think the only one that I got the first prize was the musket. Everything else, I would just get like the bronze prize, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Did you mess with those at all, Lauren?
I only tried the machete one once, and that was it.
Yeah,
I didn't do any other ones.
it's a nice little add-on, but I don't know. I don't feel like the prizes are really worth it.
Yeah, it was basically like first and second, well, second and third prize, it was like upgrade materials, and then the first one was like a skill of that weapon.
Right. So it was like, eh.
So if you don't ever use that weapon, there's really no point
Yeah.
to really do them.
I mean, for this game being as short as it is, they gave you a lot of stuff to do. Like
Yeah.
leaderboards, they have all that. They have like the mission stuff. Then like you had the dreams. Like there was a lot to do if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the first one where you hit the pipe and then you pass
Yeah.
out and then you do that. And that's cool because that gives you a little more context of like the character itself.
Yeah, it gives you
Yeah.
like a narration of what they were doing before you found them.
Right, and he in that first one, I didn't do any of the other ones afterwards, but that pipe one, it's 20 waves of enemies, and it does give you quite a bit of an XP boost. I felt like you leveled up really slow in this game.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, but
gonna
there's only
ask
10 levels.
that. Like, how, what level were you like by the time you guys like finished the game?
5.
I finished the game at level 6.
5.
I actually wonder if I'm higher than
Mhm.
because I did the dreams.
No, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know, you upgrade really slow and it would give you kind of like perks. So like I know I used one that gave me more healing potions.
Yeah, that's what I
Same.
use.
Yeah.
And then I can't really remember what the other ones were.
One gave you more special skills.
One gave you more health, I think.
Yeah, I
The
think so.
3 that I like primarily used, I had the one that gave like plus 12 health or something like that. The other one, it made it so your health tonics would like completely heal you,
Oh yeah.
and it would also give you like 2 extra space. And then my other one was as I did damage, I would heal, but then the health tonics don't heal you for as much. But because of the one giving me max health every time, it like canceled that part out. So it's just like constantly regaining health as I killed things.
Well, that would have probably been beneficial.
Hmm.
So as you go through the first like 6 to 9 levels, you collect monuments, and as you return each monument to the Bastion, it unlocks like the town building side of things, where you get
Yeah,
like
the distillery,
Right.
forge.
The arsenal.
Yeah. Shrine. Lost and Found.
Okay, that's what's missing.
And what was that other one?
Yeah, what's the one that gives you like the challenges where it's like, oh, do X amount of damage
Yeah,
or
monument or something something weird.
I don't remember the name of it, but it was like the vigils.
Yeah, because
That's
you
what
would
they
get
give you.
it would unlock like challenges throughout the game. So it's like kill 12 enemies with like one shot of the musket, and it would give you so many like. Did those have a name?
Yeah.
The things you use to like level up, like your weapons and stuff.
Uh, Spear. I don't know.
Oh, they were like don't remember.
But
They did have a name though.
the
Yeah.
Lost and Found was really cool,
Mhm.
because you could get all your materials. I ended up buying everything.
Yeah, you had that many.
Yeah, because
Like,
I just
things?
basically stopped doing anything else because I didn't change weapons.
Oh yeah, you never upgraded.
So I didn't upgrade anything else.
Gotcha.
I upgraded like everything.
Yeah, I thought
That's
at
good.
first I was doing that, and then as I got later into the game, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna max out the weapons I use, and just call it a day.
That's what I did too after so long.
Yeah, I would upgrade like the main weapons that I would use, but then I'd like also try to level up the other ones, but never use them. So I kind of like spent all my credit things, but yeah.
Kind of did the same thing like Dan did. Like I tried to level everything up, but like I didn't use them, so it was like kind of like wasted.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys turn on any of the idols to make the
Ooh,
game any more
yeah.
challenging?
Ooh,
The
yeah.
one.
I did not.
I did just that one when you first unlocked that, and I went through that level, and then because I thought I had to beat the level, and then nothing happened, so I went all the way back and turned it off, and nothing still happened, so I just left that level, and apparently that's all you had to do was go through it and then leave.
Yeah, I didn't turn any of them on. Which ones did you turn on, Dan?
Oh, I don't remember the names of them. The one it'd make it so the foes would do more damage to you, I believe, and then the
That's the
other
chain
one maybe. I think the other one made it so the foes would, I don't know, be quicker, like attack more, something like that. But
Yeah,
it was
That's the one I
bad
had on.
because
I did
I didn't realize how bad it was gonna be, and then I jumped into I think one of the reflection missions, like the second start, like the second set of them, like
The
in the pot.
musician?
Whenever you get what?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
musician.
yeah. And yeah, they destroyed me. I think I made it like 2 waves in, and then yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mess with any of those things. I was like playing, and I was like, the game's not too easy. It's not like super difficult. I was like, I'm okay with just where it's at.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I
Um,
was content with just playing it the way that it was.
I mean,
It was fun.
we should have probably done this earlier. But what did you guys play on? I played on the PC.
I played on
played-
the Switch.
Switch.
I did Steam with a PS4 controller.
Yeah, I did Steam, and I started with just mouse and keyboard, and then kind of towards the end of it, I switched to like a normal controller.
Yeah, I used an Xbox One controller
Yeah.
after so long. I was like, yeah.
I will say using a keyboard mouse like with aiming and
aiming?
stuff like that was so much better.
I figured with the mortar it would make it 10 times like better.
Yeah, you could
'Cause you could
actually
just
like
click on it.
aim right, and you could like free aim with stuff. You didn't have to like constantly just lock on.
Mhm.
So in these first like the game's kind of broken into like half. So like the first part of the game, you're collecting monuments. You find two other survivors.
Wolf and Zia.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
like auras.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ura?
Ura.
Ura.
Ura?
Ura.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's URA.
Right.
So they're like I wouldn't say they're like a different race because everyone's human, but
It's more like Americans and like Russians, like that kind of thing. Like it's
They're from a different country, Dan.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Nationality, I guess,
I
would
was
be the right
thinking
word.
like more like Lord of the Rings, like we're the
Like
humans
a
and they were
different
the
Yeah,
race.
elves.
Yeah,
a
that's what I
different
was
race.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so you bring those two back because they're survivors of the calamity, and as you're doing the final mission, what's the guy's name?
Zolf.
Starting with a Z.
Zolf.
Zolf.
Zelf.
He like betrays you
Yep.
after you find the
Glass
diary.
four monument.
So he betrays you, and then that kind of leads into the second half of the game because you need to find shards to repair the Bastion.
hmm
Um, this is the half of the game that I started to lose interest.
Really? I like that first mission where you get that you go for the first shard. You're in that like dream world where you fall asleep and
Oh, after
then you
you
go
get the
through.
hookah?
Yeah, no. This is after you're gonna you're looking for the first shard
Oh,
after it's
okay.
destroyed and you go into the world to find it and your person like falls asleep or whatever and you start going through those dreams of like all the different places and enemies you've already fought. And I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, it's like a recap of the first half of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it
Um,
was neat.
that
I mean,
is the level called Lawson's Bog.
yep, that's
I
it.
don't know why I remember that, but it stood out to me. Um, that part's cool. Like I was into it, and then after that, the wilds. I was just like all these like plant shooters and high brush and all this stuff. I was just like, this is I don't know. I feel like the game, even though the game's not long, I felt like it was kind of unnecessary.
It was doing the same thing you just did.
Yeah.
That was the only thing
Yeah,
I
I
had
could
an
see
issue with
that.
it. I like that they switched up enemies and like locations, but then at one point you're fighting everybody all again, anyways.
hmm
Um,
But I get you.
yeah, so I guess at that point, that's when, for me personally, like my enjoyment with the game started to decrease.
I would
Um,
say it's when I got more interested in the story, though, because if you did the two dreams available by that point,
hmm
like you get more information.
so I was at that. I guess at this point, I was trying to rush through the levels to get through the story because that's what I wanted to get to, was where was the story heading to.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if how everyone else felt about those levels. I don't know if anything stuck out to you, but we can talk about everything before like the big finale. If there's anything in there that stood out that you want to talk about.
Are you saying right now or
Yeah, like just without going into the final mission, was there any of those shard missions that stood out to you?
I have written down Langston River. It's the one where you ride the boat. I really like the narration. It made me love the lift boat as a character. Cause
yeah.
he's like, I don't remember what the boat's name is, but like he like treats it like it's a
Yeah.
person, like where it gets
hmm
stuck, and he's like, "Oh, the kid owes her a favor or
hmm
something." Like at least unstick it. And then I have Birdstone and Corey, because at the end of the fight, you fight the Ura, and then you have all your animal creature like friends help you like stomp them out.
Oh, are you talking about whenever you go back to the Bastion
Yeah.
and they're like invading?
Mm-hmm.
hmm
So, did did anyone have like a bond with your allies, your like animals?
Yeah.
Did any of yours die?
I had
No.
I had
Oh,
what's the first one?
The
Squirt?
Yeah, my squirt died in that battle.
I didn't know they
Oh,
could die.
Yeah, if
yeah,
you
my
it,
pecker died.
That,
I was so sad.
so if you just like hang out and not do anything like I was doing, I
they just died.
realized that they die, and then the narrator goes, um, he just goes like, "Squirt didn't make it," and he's
Yeah.
so like dramatic, but like it's so
Yeah.
like monotoned at the same time.
I think the narrator is what really like makes this game alive. I
So I
guess.
didn't look it up. Is Ron Perlman the narrator? Because that's who it sounds like.
I don't know.
I don't think so. This is a very small game.
It sounds like Ron Perlman. Like,
It was made by like 7 people.
I don't know. But yeah, I think the narrator definitely is what made the game alive with
It
the
is
story.
it is Logan Cunningham that does the voice of Rux.
okay.
Never heard of him.
I
Yeah,
either.
no. He sounds like Ron Perlman.
But no, he definitely like kept me engaged with the story because like just listening
Mhm.
to him.
At one point, what was I doing? I was like clearing out some kind of area, or maybe I was killing enemies over and over and over, and he was like, he keeps doing this, even though he knows that it won't make a difference. But
Yeah.
that doesn't matter to him. And I was like,
Yeah.
dang, way to put me on the spot like that.
I like how every time you would find like one of the like Ash people that didn't make it through the calamity, he would tell you like who they were.
Yeah.
So at first I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, so I would just kill them.
Oh, I
Same.
always killed him,
And
regardless.
he would go, the kid didn't like him either.
Yeah. I killed them
Kid
all
didn't like
too.
him.
Like poor Miss Sue or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like, this is so and so, like the local like tavern owner. And he's like, the kid didn't like what he was doing or whatever. It was just like something that like it has nothing to do with it. You just accidentally kill somebody, and he would be like, "Oh, I guess he didn't like that one either." Like I was like, "Oh, okay. Thanks for calling me out for being a bad person."
Right.
I killed him because I felt like I was doing a good thing.
I
Because they're
wanna,
already dead, just like encased in like stone.
Putting them to rest.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what mission it is, but it's during this section where you like teleport in to the mission. You're like surrounded by a circle of them,
Oh yeah.
and then you just have to like attack your way out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And so it kind of forces you to be like a piece of shit. If you weren't like, if you were trying to go the whole game without killing them, they like forces you right there.
Yep. Nope.
So-
If I even seen those, I would run out of my way to hit them.
Yeah.
What was your guys' like most hated enemy in the game?
The frog thing.
The frog thing?
Hated that thing so much.
I hated the those little like it looked like a pop-up tent that just kept putting out the squirts. It's like for the first
Oh.
2 missions, like I was like, where the hell are all these things coming from? And then
Go ahead.
I've realized I gotta destroy this little like wooden like tent
Popcorn
like
machine.
That's what
popcorn
I
machine,
said.
yeah.
It looked like a
Yeah.
carnival like popcorn machine.
Yeah, I hated those.
Least favorite enemy, huh?
Yeah.
Least favorite to fight, I guess, would just be the rapid fire, like plant thing. Just because when they line up and there's a bunch of them, it's hard to like block and like shoot. But once you got like the mortar, it didn't even matter.
I think my least favorite enemy was like the rabbit thing that would like drop all the
Oh,
rocks
okay.
on you, because you couldn't kill it like traditionally. Usually, like I used the musket a lot, or like the throwing the machete, and it would go
Yeah,
underground.
you go to it. Yeah.
And I was like, and then you'd have to
Yeah,
go over
I
there
didn't
and
really
hit
have
it.
a problem with them. If you just like ran up to them, they would pop out and like try to run, but they didn't run very fast, so you
They-
could just like slice them up.
They also don't attack you if you push them.
Yeah. Or if you just used the mortar, like it would still kill them even if they're in the ground.
I guess that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
But I think my least favorite was like one of the Yura like people. Like the people, I think they had like the spear.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I used the mortar, so it's like they would teleport like forward like very slightly, so it's like I had to time like where to make it land at.
That's true. I think it's funny because I don't know if this is just the game itself, but if you stayed far enough away from them with the mortar, they wouldn't move because they wouldn't react to you being there.
Yeah, I found that out.
And you could kill everyone without them even moving. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, this is
That's what I
kind of an
did.
exploit.
But I used my dual pistols, and I would just shoot them from far away. They would end up dying without them moving.
But so after you do these missions, you collect all the the shards. You save the girl,
Yep.
Yep.
even though she wasn't kidnapped, even though you think she was kidnapped. And you fully like restore the Bastion, and then it leads you into the final mission, which before you go in, it tells you like, hey, this is like point of no return. Like you can't come back out once you start this. So we're in the very end of the game now, and I will point out immediately before we talk about it, what the fuck? They added a hop button at the very end of the game.
Oh my god, I
Oh,
know.
When it popped up on the screen, I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Why?"
Yeah. I was like, really? This seems kind of late to add a mechanic in, but
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
This is also the point where you start finding out what actually happened
Yeah.
with the calamity.
It was actually like my favorite part of the game.
Yeah. I thought it was really good too, because you start finding out that like, hey, the calamity was something that we did.
Yeah.
We fucked up. I was like, oh my god, no way. And how they lied about it and said they weren't going to use it, then they used it anyways, and
And that
basically
Zia
destroyed
girl,
the whole world.
her dad's the one who actually betrayed everybody.
Yeah, and the story, like her story, if you did that other
Dream.
like dream
Mhm.
about how like she liked this guy and that he tried to talk to her dad in like their native language, and he thought it was disrespectful for a foreigner to talk in that language, and he didn't like him because of it. And I don't know if you actually listened to that, but
I didn't
I was
do
like,
that,
wow,
so
his dad's like her dad's a dick. He was trying to be like, oh, like I respect your culture, and he's just like stupid foreigner.
yeah, I didn't do that. So for me, I didn't know anything about her backstory.
That's where you find out her dad was the one who like helped come up with the calamity, and then he changed it to like basically target them instead of the Ura. That's why the Ura are alive.
Yeah, and then this is where you find out that Rux knows so much about it because he's like, I helped build it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he's like, hey, like, while I've been hanging out at the Bastion while you go to these different islands, I built this cannon for you.
Yep.
And then it, like, vaporizes things.
Yeah.
Or yourself.
Or yourself.
Happened a lot.
This was pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of, like, different, like, changes throughout this level. There's, like, sections where you just had to clear out enemies or take out, like, shrines. There is sections where you kind of had to, like, run as the floor was falling underneath you. So that was pretty neat. I like that was more like a frantic pace.
One of the worst things of this one, though, is they give you the ability to hop, and I hated it.
Yeah, the
Just want me
worst.
to keep rolling. Yeah, just let me keep rolling. It was so much faster.
You have to hop, and then you do that whole segment where you just jump on those squares. And I'm like, I hate this.
I did not like the jumping on the squares.
I
I
don't
died a
know.
lot.
Yeah, I don't know how many times throughout this game when the floor would start giving out that I just fell off the freaking map, like over and over, and I'm like, this is stupid. I need to pay attention because I keep dying. Well, almost dying, getting hurt, I guess is a better way to put it.
Yeah, it's like, and then Rux has to say some smart ass comment like, "Oh, you should probably stay on."
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck you, man.
Kid was having an off day today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get through all of this level. You're fighting like a bunch of the what are they called?
Whatever.
Ura. And you get to the end, and there's like a gang of them beating the shit out of that guy. Zolf.
Oh yeah, this is the most important thing. What did
So
everybody choose?
you get to it. They beat the shit out of him. You like go over and you like clear it out, and then it gives you a moral decision. It's the first decision you have to make throughout the whole game. And you can either leave him there because fuck him, or you can pick him up and carry him with you. So,
And if you pick them up, you also leave your battering ram.
right, yeah, so you have to leave the battering ram because you're just taking shit out with that at that point.
Yep.
So we'll go around, and what was everyone's first moral decision?
I saved him.
I also saved him.
I did not.
saved him.
I did not save him.
I also did not save him.
So then my question for you guys is, what did that level look like after that, since you didn't save him?
Okay, so after you choose not to save him, you're like, all right, I'm gonna leave his corpse here. I don't care.
Yeah.
You keep the battering ram, and you go into the next section where there's a bunch of enemies.
Bunch of enemies.
Uh-huh.
It gets rid of your health bar, and you just go around and you just smash the shit out of them. You have no health bar, so you cannot be hurt. And if
That's
you
pretty
pound,
dope.
and if you pound the ground, the island starts falling, and people just fall to their death.
That's pretty
Yeah.
dope.
It was pretty fun.
I enjoyed that actually. I was like, I think I
Yeah.
made the right decision. So
So-
on the flip
I
side of
really like
that,
saving him.
when you save him, what's the after that?
So you carry him through that area. All those enemies are there, and at first you're still getting shot at. So you keep going through, and eventually everyone stops shooting at you, and they just watch you carry his body all the way to the point where you leave. That's it.
I like
Yeah.
Did your health bar disappear?
Yeah, you can't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But-
can't die.
Oh, you can't die? Okay.
Yeah, but it's cool because at one point there's like one still shoots at you, and then they like take him out, and everybody's like
Yeah.
just sitting there watching. But they played his like theme song thing. That song was so good.
Yeah.
Can I just say the music in this game was just so good.
It was.
It was like my favorite part about the whole game.
Yeah, I notated that too. I said
Yeah, me
music's
too.
really good. Sound effects
I-
are really good.
I even listened to the Spotify playlist of the game after.
Really?
Yeah,
Of
At least-
course you did.
I like
songs
that.
are good.
I like that. So after you make your decision, you leave and you return underneath the Bastion, like the heart of the island is what they refer to it as,
Wait,
right?
you
Right?
I'm not
well,
missing-
whenever you like, well, you don't just end up at the bottom. You like just land on the Bastion, and then you have to go put the last shard in or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I skipped that little part. And then Rux is like, hey, I want to show you something. And he takes you to the bottom, like the heart of the Bastion. And it allows you to make your second decision.
Yeah.
And yet again, we'll go around and see what everyone picked.
Wait, should we explain what the two options are?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Dan. You explain them and then tell us what
Oh.
you picked.
Oh, come on. So you can either restore the world like back to its like prior state before the calamity, or you can just basically move the Bastion to somewhere else, basically.
Just forget about it.
Yeah, just yeah.
He does say when you restore it that there's a chance that none of you will remember anything, and
Yeah.
you won't remember each other.
He also
And then he
says
Go ahead.
that the calamity could happen again.
Well, yeah, I mean that's obviously a risk.
Right. So that's like all in your decision making. So
Yeah.
what about you, Lauren? What decision did you make here?
This one took me a long time because I was going back and forth between restoring the world and taking that risk of the calamity happening again, or just escaping on the Bastion and just cutting my losses. I decided to restore the world, and only because even though he says you won't remember anything, like there's a chance of that, he says, but with something like this, I have a feeling that you will. So I took that as there's still that chance that we will remember what happened, and we could stop it from happening that second time. So I did restore the world.
And Dan?
Okay, so you could talk to Rux and Zia or Zaya or whatever her name is, like before you make your decision. And Zaya really talked about how she just wanted to spend her life at the Bastion
She did. She did.
Oh God, it's
because
coming
she
out in him.
wanted because she wanted.
Don't worry,
like,
I chose the same
she would
decision.
rather stay at the Bastion than go back to her prior life. So I was like, we'll just escape and just live on the Bastion forever. And so that's what I picked.
And
too.
sounds like you picked that as well.
Yeah, I do want to go around till like day.
And then
just
Tony,
get to
you
keep
chose
it.
that too.
Yep.
I also chose to just stay on the Bastion.
Wow.
So Lauren was the only one that made a different decision. So
I'm surprised.
is the end? What is your ending after that then?
The ending,
Like the
I'm pretty
credits.
sure it was like nothing. Like that's the thing that I didn't understand was I felt like the decisions you make in this game, I don't know because I didn't pick the other option. I felt like they didn't mean anything.
You didn't get them like,
You didn't get like a talk about like the narrator did like talk afterwards because he talked like 10 minutes after.
yeah, it talks
No.
about
We made
the
our
kid
decision.
being like,
Yeah.
their first mate.
Yeah,
And then
his
like as soon as
first
I
name.
saved Zolf, he was in there cooking food, all like
No,
with
I
Band-Aids
didn't get
on.
any of that. That's why I thought I was like, well, what a stupid decision. There's nothing. Like literally nothing.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
It's
good art. and
faded to
stuff.
black in the credits.
Yeah, that's
Did you at least get like the
literally
good like that song of like the two
literally
scenes
credits
back to back?
just rolled. It was a black screen with credits rolling. That's it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't get the Zolf thing because I didn't save him, so I didn't get to see him cooking food or
I-
anything.
I saved Zolf,
Yeah.
but I didn't see him cooking
You didn't
food.
see that like cut of him just like cutting vegetables with a bandage on his face?
No, it just showed like us on the Bastion, and then it showed like Rux, Zaya, and the kid on the one side, then Zolf was just on
Oh,
the
you
other
didn't
side by
have the
himself.
little panels come up?
No,
Yeah, there was panels that came up during the credits.
Yeah. Did you look at your phone?
I might have been on my phone during the credits.
Okay, well, as the credits roll on the right-hand side, it has panels. And it shows like them doing different things, but since I didn't save Zolf, I didn't see anything about him.
Yeah, it was just him cutting vegetables, and then at the end, when they're all like three looking off, he's like looking off the other direction.
But the music that plays at the very end is super good.
Oh, yeah. Agree.
That's kind of disappointing ending for Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize it
you're
was
telling me.
that different.
I'll have to look up that other ending because now I'm curious.
Yeah, same.
So now that we're at the end of the game, did you guys experience any type of glitches throughout playing?
I don't think
No.
so.
I didn't have any glitches. Like I said, the only thing that was close was that exploit where they
Uh,
don't acknowledge
yeah.
that you're there. But that I didn't have any glitches. And what was your guys' time to completion?
5 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah, right around there. But I also set my Switch down to smoke the hookah a couple times when it was my turn, and if I went up to the bathroom, I just let it sit there.
What about you, Dan?
As I'm currently staring at Steam, it says 5.5 hours. I don't ever like time myself. So like 5.5 hours.
Dan or Tunza?
Oh gosh.
Ask you again.
Mine says like 5.3 on Steam, but I already
Uh-huh.
played it when I bought it like years ago. So I'm assuming probably like I mean, close to 5, maybe a little under 5.
And Tony?
It was like probably just over 4 hours, like about 4 hours.
I think me and Tony are in the same boat. I played on Go Galaxy, like that game platform, and it tells you like specifically like how much you play. And I finished the game in 4 hours and 22 minutes.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice.
So the average length of this game for most communities is around 6 to 6.5 hours. So we all finished underneath.
Dude, we're gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
If you were, what was the completionist thing was like crazy though. I know Lauren was looking at it. It's like 20 hours.
Oh, there's
or
so
something.
much shit to do. 'Cause
Yeah.
just like the
Yeah.
achievements for like the dreams. The only way you get achievements for the dreams is doing it with 5 idols on and then 10 idols on.
Dang.
Like just that alone would take a while.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. And I think it was like 10 hours to do all the extra stuff, like to get all like the
Proving grounds and stuff.
like to do the proving grounds and to get like all the add-on like power-up skills and stuff.
Mm.
I think it's around 10 hours to do that.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, so not too bad. I guess before we move into our outro, is there anything else you guys want to talk about for Bastion? Anything that jumps?
The fucking music was so good, and like the narration,
yeah.
just the way it's told, like reminded me of like an Adult Swim Tanami like kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's basically it.
I guess my notation is the art style almost looks like watercolor painting.
Mhm. It's very good, very
so
stylistic.
It definitely stands out in the art style department compared to a lot of other games of the same genre.
I would say it holds up pretty well for 10 years. That's 10 years ago, their first game.
Yeah, 10 years. That's crazy that the game was that long and it's been on my wish list for 10 years.
I owned it for this long and just now beat it.
But
I think
so if no one has anything else to say, we're gonna go around and see what you guys think about recommending this game to other people. So we'll start with Tony. Would you recommend this game and why?
Yeah, I would recommend it. I had a lot of fun playing it. Even though I don't really like top-down games, like this one was pretty fun. Like the narration pretty much made the game for me. But like how Corey said earlier when he was saying like at a certain point in the game it kind of got tedious. I kind of felt that, but like the game's not that long, so you can pretty much push through it. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Dan?
Okay, so I'm kind of like in a weird boat where it's like I would recommend it, but at the same time, it's like I felt like there was stuff missing from it. Like it's not the best game ever,
No, it's definitely not the best game ever, but
but it's still enjoyable to play.
yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I could see that both sides of that, and I'm gonna leave Tunza last because he's the one that wanted us to play it. So Lauren will go next.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This is right up my alley if you like action RPGs, you like hack and slash games, anything like that, definitely would recommend it. And I agree there is a point where like it does feel a little tedious, but I feel like if you power through that few levels, if that, the story makes up for it right after. So I would definitely recommend it. And it's not that expensive. And people really liked Hades, and they made that, so I do want to try Hades now that I played this.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Dan. I lean more towards not recommending it solely based on the fact that I feel like there's better games in the same genre. Um, I have not played Hades, but I'm assuming that that probably is much better because they have more experience. The story is something that I think is worth experiencing. The story is done well, it's told well, narration is fun, and it gives you like as much as you want from the game. So if you wanted to dive in and do the dream sequences, you can get way more out of this than maybe myself. Um, if you're a fan of the genre, you'd probably really enjoy it. Like I said, after halfway through the game, basically, I was just trying to get the gameplay done so that I could do the story. So I'm just somewhere in between.
Oh,
Fair.
I'm recommending this 100% just because one, full price, it's still not that expensive, and it's on sale often. It's a simple game with a simple concept. Like I put, you can probably finish the game pretty fast, but if you want to stay there, there's still a lot to be done and unlock. This game totally set the foundations for Hades and everything else they've kind of did. Like they did Transistor, Pyre. Hades is like so far like a lot of this combined, but it's like a roguelike. So every time you die, but you can upgrade. You can get like almost the same kind of like a spear, but it does more abilities. And then there, if you like the narration and music in this, you would love it in Hades. And you can actually like upgrade your area, like your home base. It feels good. So I mean, play whatever you want. SuperGiant game's good though. I recommend any of their games.
Well, that was Bastion from 2011. And if you want to further the conversation with us, make sure you join our Discord. We will gladly talk to you and want to hear your thoughts on the game. But before that, we are going to find out what game we're playing for September. This month was Tony's pick, so he is going to tell us what he chose and why he decided that we should all play it.
All right, so I chose Quantum Break. I really enjoyed this game when it came out. It is developed by Remedy Entertainment. Uh, it's a 2016 science fiction action adventure third person shooter game. It is a Microsoft exclusive. Is, in my opinion, the best Microsoft exclusive that came out that year. You have Charlie from Lost is in it. Littlefinger from Game of Thrones is in it. Iceman from X-Men's in it. It's got a great cast. The story is pretty awesome. I really enjoyed it when I played it. The one thing about this game is it says it's 10 hours, but it's probably actually with total gameplay, probably only about 5 because it's literally after every act, there's literally like a 30 to 45-minute live action movie on the choices that you make in your gameplay. So everything is different for everybody because not everyone's going to choose the same thing. So I'm pretty interested on how everyone's going to make their choices.
I think it should be a pretty fun choice. I know this is kind of out of my realm. The only thing of Remedy I've ever played was Alan Wake.
Good.
So it'd be
Combat's really good. I've played this game. I just haven't finished it.
Yeah,
Why Tony picked this.
that is one of the reasons why I chose this game.
I'm on like the last level.
Tons
I'm gonna
of
have to restart.
Tons of never beat it. So that was also one of the
You
reasons.
guys gotta play Control. That doesn't hit the 10-hour limit though.
Any thoughts on this, Dan, Lauren?
I'm interested to try it out since it's not something I would typically play.
I mean, I'm excited to play it just because it's a game that I've kind of like wanted to play before, but just never did.
I think it's going to be interesting because this game had 2 moral decisions, and this is going to have a lot more. So
Yeah,
I think
there's a lot of decisions in this game. Yeah.
So I think our experience with this game is going to be very crazy, and we're going to be like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize that happened."
Yeah.
So it should be exciting. So definitely make sure you follow us on Spotify so that you know, get it live when it comes out. Make sure to follow us on our Facebook page at Nerdlag Game Club, as well as on Twitter at Nerdlag. We've been very active over there as of recent, and we'd love to talk to you guys. As I mentioned before, join our Discord server where you can talk to us pretty personally. We're on it all the time. And am I missing anything, guys?
I think you hit
I
everything.
don't think so. Yeah, I think you
All
you
right.
did everything.
Well, until next month, we will see you guys.
Yep.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.